do you think is the most likely out of the 2024 commits to make a splash this fall, and therefore probably going to start to make his splash in 3 weeks during spring practice?
Cam Davis is a name that really, really sticks out, just kind of with his size and the type of runner he is. I think he could have a pretty dang good freshman year. As far as spring camp in particular, I'm really, really interested to see what Malik Benson does and how he transfers immediately. And Roydell Williams. I know that's 3 names, but I'll be quick with it. Those are 3 names that I'm really, really looking to see. And I think Cam Davis, as far as a true freshman, he might be that Conrad Hussey from last year that really goes out there and shines.
So was the question, who's going to stand out the most this spring?
Well, I'm basically looking for a guy that's new to school, a 2024 commit that's got a chance to be an impact true freshman.
I would say who my catch is. It would be between Cam Davis, but the one that I personally think stands up and really surprises not just Florida State, but surprises college football is Camden Fryer. That's the wide receiver. His dad used to play here, so did his uncle. It's just because of what he did at Tour of Duty. This kid's just different. I don't know what else to say other than that he's got it. He's figured it out. He knows what he's doing. His breaks and routes, just his abilities all together. But when he puts his brain behind it, which he's very smart, understands the playbook already, and I think everybody's going to be really surprised with him. So that's who I would pick as far as 2024 guy.
Is there any recent rumblings under the surface regarding 2025? Anybody out there that's close to making a decision?
Well, what I will say is this. Florida State, and we'll say it, was this the 4th time, I think? Florida State's going to have a top 5 composite offensive line class in the 2025 class. Top 5 composite offensive line class. If anybody needs to replay that, top 5.
Believe it, and I'm with him. I totally agree. I think what you're seeing, you're not so much one specific guy. It's kind of early, but you're seeing like a lot of these guys, all these top guys. You're seeing a lot more Florida State in the top 4s, top 4 here, top 4 there. It's flipped, and like Chris said, look out for that offensive line haul, to be absolutely amazing. And once we get into June and July, the recruiting and stuff will really pick up. But they're doing a good job. The one thing I will say about this class, they're doing a really good job of specifically like at the linebacker position, casting a wider net for more blue chip kids, and also with offensive line, as Chris alluded to, having that top offensive line class. They're in it for a lot of these top names that a lot of years, you wouldn't get the time of the day as you built up. And guys that can come in here and possibly have a contribute earlier and earlier. So yeah, stay tuned. And actually, we're gonna have Pat Burnham on, I think Tuesday from Rivals. So we'll have a good recruiting conversation about that Tuesday.
Well, for a guy that's been sitting here for 252 episodes, I think maybe offensive line woes and underdevelopment and under recruitment has been talked about more than anything over 5 years. So that has changed considerably. If there's one position group, and that would be a tough argument and debate to have, that Mike Norvell has addressed most successfully, it would be the upgrade of the offensive line. And it's apparently going to continue.
Thank you. I'll take it I'll take it for Norvell, because the only thing that anybody wants to talk about is how we've recruited that position. I don't. Here's the thing that I'm not understanding with the fan base, and this is all fan bases, not just Florida State's. We act like the transfer portal is just not in existence. It doesn't exist. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is how we recruit these positions in high school. Not saying that doesn't matter. Not saying that it matters less than it did before. But what matters more is that you do both of them at least good. You have to do good in the portal and at least good in high school recruiting. I think Mike Norvell's either done great in one, good in the other, and good in one, and then great in the other. And everybody wants to talk about, well, we got this guy, we didn't develop this guy, we didn't do this, but nobody wants to pay attention to what we have done. Everybody's always worried about what they don't have instead of seeing what they do have. Count your blessings, people, because if you just look next door, down the street, in the same state, look what the University of Florida is going through. Miami's best season in the past 2 or 3 years is 7-5. Excuse me. What is it that they have that we don't? Supposedly, Miami recruits their what's off. How is that indicated in the game day against Florida State for the past 3 years? How has that worked out? That's all I'm asking. Their roster is so great. I can't wait. Okay. We've said that every year since 2002. Every year. Miami's back. Every year since Florida with Urban Meyer won with Tim Tebow. Florida's going to be that gauntlet again. It's coming. It's coming. How many head coaches has Florida had since Urban Meyer left? Ugh. We aren't going through the same things. The similarities are as we had 5 bad seasons. That's true. We all know why. Now you see all of it get flipped, and it starts working, and we still want to talk about what we don't have. I want to talk about what we do have because I see what everybody else don't have.
I think the issue that a lot of fans have is that they're excited about the transfer portal news. So that's always forefront, okay, and it's easier to get excited in a sense for some of those guys because they've proven it at the college level. So you get Keon Coleman, you can say, boom, guy caught 60 balls at Michigan State. Look at what he's shown us on tape against Big Ten defenses. You get excited about that. But for some reason, when it comes to looking at recruiting rankings, everybody still just goes to the high school recruiting rankings and says, okay, where are you? And that's the end of the discussion there. They haven't merged the two. They get excited about transfer portal news, but when they talk recruiting, it's all just, where's your high school ranking?
And they want to say, oh, well, he's got no stats in college, this or that. You rode the bench at Bama his freshman year. It's like, okay, so these guys coming out of high school, how much college experience do they have? And it's like, oh, well, it's just the high school rankings that matter. It's always, still 80% high schoolers in the first round. Yeah, but just for like all transfers came from high school, right? Is there some homeschooling out there that's going on, or like people that don't get recruited out of high school and they just become transfers, or like? So yeah, it's ridiculous. And the thing that gets me is 247 made them 4 stars. Literally, we signed 10 blue chip transfers, but then you don't get credit for them. Meanwhile, Miami brings in 21. But anyways, this is something that I could talk about, and I have talked about 100 million times. But